Welcome back to the final round back nine chase card coverage of the Preserve Championship, powered by Prodigy Disc. I'm Andrew Fish, joined here by Nathan Queen.
And happy to be out here for this final 9 holes at the Black Bear course at the Airborne Preserve property. Beautiful course, and it's just been a beautiful week out here. Lots of fun golf to watch. We've got 9 holes left and looking for a big push at our chase card here.
Yeah, this has quickly become one of the favorite stops of many of the players on tour, especially the van lifers who get to spend the entire week on the banks of the Mississippi and stepping out of their front door to play a gorgeous course. Ricky Wysocki got an early lead. A couple guys on our card hanging around in that top 10. Got a chance to make a push here. Hole 10, we're going to start it off with a very scoreable 1158 par 5. It's long, but there's a lot of open space to work with. Straight shot or anhyzer off the tee, and then on your second shot, you'll have a choice to go in front of or beyond this ditch that plays us out of bounds. Green perched on an old ball golf green. Lots of scoring opportunity here. Just let it rip with the tailwind.
Absolutely so. Unlike hole 8, which was the 5th hardest hole as a par 5, this is the 3rd easiest hole as a par 5. So similar distance, but much different dynamic.
And Garrett, full flight. That's pushing 6 bills. Tracks over to the left side, so that may make his angle a little more difficult to attack the bucket in 2. But still well thrown. Evan, a little more dedicated anhyzer.
Yeah, getting lots of turn on that early, but still fading out a pretty good bit late. He's going to find that tall grass over on the left side. Not really out of position, though. Just a bit of a awkward run up.
Yeah, may have to work his way around some thistle. Proctor starts this very far left side, so he also is going to find some left side shul. Not too bad. Actually, in the short stuff, I take it back.
Yeah, super understable disc and got enough flight just to outfly all of that tall stuff still over there on the left side.
And Emerson stealing Proctor's little knee bend. Good driven shot on anhyzer for a long time, and he will have a clean run up.
Oh yeah, big drive there. Maybe looking to go over that creek or ditch on his second shot. Evan most likely just looking to go up towards it here. And definitely leaking more left. Man, I don't know if he's going to have a run up from where he's at. Even if he does, he is well out of position, as that's pretty far away from the basket there.
Yeah, over 400 feet. I'm not sure I'm clear on what his vision was for that shot. Emerson,
oh boy,
kind of sculling it low.
Yeah, not a mistake you can really make there. Had plenty of speed and power to get over, just too low. As you see Proctor making sure he has the height. He's going to be inside 200 feet, I think, for that approach.
Throw it this way because I don't want to make a deal of it.
I think if you can move. You good?
Seems
Keith?
like Garrett was choosing between an anhyzer and a hyzer. Elects to go full power hyzer.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. Yeah. I would have been looking at that.
He's going to be 150 feet away, if even. Just going to have an easy look for the birdie. This is looking a little dangerous here from Evan. All right. I guess he's found some inbounds area over there.
Yeah, the paint must end at some point. Emerson to the forehand for his 4th shot. And gets inside the circle. But as safe as this green is, you'd like to be pinning it, not scooching up to the front edge. Proctor, floaty little putter shot. Nicely done to the bullseye.
Yeah, that's how you want to draw it up. Garrett, from even closer approach, going to put it even closer to the basket. 66% of the field carding birdie or better on this hole today. Evan Scott has his chance for a birdie right now.
And gonna come up just short. He didn't make any terrible mistakes, but he didn't play the hole great. He's gonna have to settle for a par. Emerson able to convert for his par save.
Yeah, with the OB stroke, that's all you can really do. Really can't afford to bogey this hole. Just not a hard enough hole to do that on. Anthony Barella, for a second day now, able to card the eagle, and Eagle McMahon also. So 3 eagles on the week, 2 of them go to Anthony Barella.
And today's a tap in. Hole 11, I don't know if anybody is better qualified to tell us how to play it than Nathan Queen.
Yeah, hole 11, 335-foot par 3. OB carry. You can lay up short, but nobody in our field's going to do that. Got about 25 feet or so short of the pin. You've got some OB.
Garrett playing to the safer side with a stable mid-range. Going to go just outside the circle, but that is a pretty safe putt to run. Since this green is shaped like a triangle, these righty players need to make sure their disc is right of the basket for quite a while.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, kind of safe putt to run. There is some downhill slope and obviously OB behind there. But as long as you get to the ground quick, there's a small lip that does seem to stop disc pretty quickly. James, very nice shot into circle 1 there.
Evan counting on the stability and well measured on his distance. Going to have a 25-footer for the comeback.
Yeah, even safer putt than where Garrett's at. As far as positioning goes, obviously safer because it's closer.
Emerson taking a little more time. He's always deliberate. This time some extra checks. And needs to push forward before it fades.
This looks early, but it is going to have just enough straight push on it to get on. So all 4 players on the island. All
the
right.
crowd loves it. Yeah.
4 birdies in a row for Garrett Gurthie. Oh, and speaking of the crowd loving it, as you tried to allude to earlier, there was an ace on this hole today. It happened to be from myself, and what a crowd there to see it. Man, it got loud. Love these crowds out here in Minnesota. The bleachers back there, very nice touch. And, oh man, that was a fun shot. FD3, little nose-up flex shot. And if you think these cheers are loud for these birdie putts right here, oh man, you guys missed out earlier today.
Yeah, you got to watch every card. There's talent all over the place. Couple good circle 2 putts for Garrett and Emerson to start it off. And now Evan for his C1 putt.
All right. Got 3 birdies on the card, and James Proctor sitting just outside the bullseye. Looks like we got that first diamond.
Hole 12, 760 feet, a par 4. Mando forces you to the left, and the drone is following a pretty inside line. You'd like to go more straight than left as a right-hand backhand player. Dog leg left in the fairway. Get over this berm, and then the basket perched on top of a stump. Need to clear maybe 400, 420 before your disc starts moving to the left in order to set up the second.
Love it.
And this looks like a well-thrown line from Garrett. Gonna skip on that green a couple times. Go ahead and jump up over that berm. He's gonna be in a fantastic position with flat footing. possibly even still be able to throw that backhand he likes to lean on.
Proctor high and fights through a little bit. He's going to be pretty far back and in the bunker, I believe.
Bunker's not too bad of a spot if you do have a little bit of run up. If you get stuck on the edges of it, it can be a bit awkward.
Where the slope of your footing is rough.
Yeah. And Evan well inside here. Pitch outland unless you want to get really aggressive, and in which case we could see something really cool, or it could turn bad pretty quickly also.
I'm here for either. I don't like middle of the road shots. I want the highlights or the disasters.
Yeah, it's the final round. You got to lay it all out there.
Emerson, a good shot. He's going to be on that green about 350 away from the basket.
Yeah, and the crowd on 11 loves it. You can still hear them in the background back there. Emerson in a good spot, taking that forehand line that I like. Has a little higher ceiling. Doesn't quite get it flat enough, but does get up on that hill and going to be right outside circle one.
Yeah, certainly the left side, the preferable one if you can get to it. Additionally, that crosses the berm earlier so that you don't have to hold your height for quite as long. Proctor going to go with a fairway driver, try to skip and ramp. And that's a difficult place to be in order to take the birdie putt.
And it looks like Evan wasn't going for too much there, but still didn't execute and put himself in a difficult spot. Now gone forehand roller and gonna turn out too much. Long look there to possibly save a par, but pretty dangerous one to run. Ah.
Garrett with the Firebird forehand. Doesn't quite work out. Evan just off the front cage for the heroic attempt at a par save.
Yeah, and Garrett didn't want much to do with that, knowing that it's dangerous. Proctor, however, looks like he's going to try to give this one a bid.
Oh, no. I didn't even see that one. Oh, God, it's so dumb.
Danger.
And yeah, another unforced error. As he said, that's so dumb. So he will have to take a 5 after throwing one of his shots about 8 feet.
Man, yeah, that's a tough one. You get so focused on that basket, you can forget that there's branches just right there in front of you. You got to stay under. Emerson Keith wants nothing to do with the trouble these guys are having on hole 12, though. He's going to go back-to-back now, get himself 3 under par.
Yeah, it's been a little slow for Emerson, but he is the type of player who, when he gets on a roll, he can really get on a roll.
Yeah, and with a couple bogeys and 1 birdie on this hole, our card has now gone 1, 2, 3, 4 under par through 12 holes.
My favorite flavor of Double G Craft Jerky, easy choice, the teriyaki. I love my sweet and I love my salty food. It's a great combination of both.
Got to go for the hot boom sauce to give you that extra kick.
Probably gonna surprise a lot of you guys. My favorite flavor is actually the sexy sweet and spicy. I find it to be one of the best jerkies I've ever had.
Hole 13, 348-foot par 3. Pretty straightforward shot. You might want to move a little bit to the left. But if you throw straight at the basket, then you don't have to worry about any movement. You really want to stay out of the woods on the right and make sure you don't push long either. Another hole you really have to control your distance on.
Emerson with a good forehand shape, hits in the bowl and skips onto the wood chips. Nicely measured.
Garrett looking to be going back to that Color Glow Rock 3.
Good pull. Just kind of stays on the same angle the entire time. And also going to be a whisker tickler right on the edge of the bullseye.
All right, up there in the wood chips.
Proctor, he's been throwing this berry for quite a lot of shots today. More dedicated hyzer flip, but tracking the same way that Garrett's is. Gonna bocce him briefly and then trickle down the backside of the hill.
Ooh, yeah, very fast still, even for a mid-range hitting the ground. Might have caught a little skip off of Garrett's disc and picked up some speed. A little high right from Evan. Hopefully not in too much trouble. Yeah, it doesn't look to be, well, does have to put a pretty good anhyzer on that, but up and down nicely.
Proctor, good high right catch. Seems like that caught one chain and dropped straight down.
After a couple nubbers on 6 the last couple rounds, they're trying to give him one back, I guess.
Emerson for his potential turkey.
Count it. Moves himself to 4 under. Garrett up there to get to 5 under par.
And it's been relatively quiet for Garrett, but don't look now. He's in the top 5. Hole 14, 1058, a par 5. Initial gap shot that you'd like to move to the right. Stay on this plateau and then throw a big booming shot that moves left to right into the second fairway. The entire left side is out of bounds. The right is not, but it is inconvenient. And then the basket perched right at the end of the mound.
All right, so I'm going to say today's stats have proved that this hole plays so hard because it is a lefty hole. You've got that left to right movement. There's not that much wind today, and instead of the second hardest hole on the course, it is the hardest hole on the course, averaging in a 5.38.
We got to give you one somewhere on tour, Nathan.
Oh man, it's so nice.
Garrett?
I can't. I don't want to stop talking about it because I never get to it.
Yeah, usually when we see lefty holes, they're, 265. Everyone just throws a forehand at it.
Yeah.
Garrett with a fairway driver backhand through the gap to a credible spot. He is going to be a little further away than is ideal. Proctor, force over forehand with plenty of stability on the end. And that's to a great position.
Definitely so. Even if you get far enough right into that tall grass, it's really not all that bad if you do have a forehand shot for it. Evan trying to go backhand is going to catch those branches. And similar to Garrett, not going to be as far as you'd like to be. Pretty scary shot to attack the second part of this fairway here.
Yeah, a perfectly thrown shot here gets into the short grass, but you might just be conceding an attack. Wow, and he's done it. You might be conceding an attacking shot into the little ditch or long grass.
I really like the height control that he put on that. It may have looked low out of his hand, but he was ensuring that he wasn't going to stable back out and end up skipping OB. Very well executed from Evan there. Yeah.
And Garrett with a ton of speed moves himself to about 250, maybe even less to the basket.
Yeah, says you thought Evan's shot was well executed. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put another 150 feet on it.
Emerson with a forehand. This is all hyzer, so he'll need to dig quickly.
And looks like he may have got it. We'll see if he trickled into that tree line at all.
And I think Proctor disking down to a fairway driver to mute the fade on the end, really limit the chance of going out of bounds left. So everybody in good position after 2 shots. Emerson, the furthest back, somewhere in the neighborhood of 380 to 400.
Yeah, it looks like he was able to stay out of those woods. Just barely. And this plays slightly uphill, so you really want to put a little more on it than you think.
Yeah, I saw a lot of players coming up short. Some of that may also be driven by the fear of just screaming past the basket down the hill on the backslope.
Yeah, and you can't actually see the ground that the basket is on. There's a little lump right in front of it, so it looks like you're cresting right to it, and then you'll walk up there and be about 30 feet short. So just kind of a tricky... The landscape plays little tricks on your eyes here.
Despite it being a hard hole, our card making pretty short work of the hole, although you're not out of the woods until you've made your putt.
Yeah, and as you see, everybody coming up short right here. Garrett with a better opportunity. As he's a bit closer, he can maybe see it a little better.
Yeah, able to use his stability on the end to about 12 feet. Evan after a short arm forehand, circle 2 look.
Yeah, and just looked soft out of the hand, never got driven forward. Hopefully he didn't get too far away back there, as James now has a pretty scary putt for his birdie.
But he's James Proctor and nails it high and center.
Yeah, bit of a up and down type of round for him, but that putt has stayed pretty consistent. He's now 3 under par. Evan Scott ending up low on the comeback putt. Oh. Catches a wobble, and now he's laying up. Well, I say he's laying up. Probably should have laid up. Oh, man.
Just accelerating insolently as he tries to walk it down. Gotta take a minute to compose yourself, young buck.
Yeah, that's a rough turn of events. He's been fighting pretty hard this round, and that can really take some steam out of you. Someone who has some steam in them at the moment, Emerson Keith, is 5 under par. Is that 5 birdies in a row? I think that's 5 birdies in a row.
No, he missed 10 with
that's
the OB stroke.
rough.
But 3 birdies on the card. Evan with a frustrating 8. But I think I saw there were a bunch of 9s out there. A lot of company.
Yeah, that moves us into hole 15. Another new tee pad on the course, back close to the water. Got a mando tree you have to go left of, making you hit a pretty tight gap, and then you want to move dog leg right as far as you can. Gonna leave yourself anywhere from 370 to 400 or so if you get a good shot off into this basket. There's one guardian tree that really makes you pick a side, most likely right-handed backhand hyzers into the green.
Forehand, a fairly popular choice off this tee pad. Emerson
That branch was mean.
grabbing a mean branch, as noted, but stays on the berm. He's going to be about 500 feet away from the basket. Footing TBD.
Garrett, nice
I like that
low
very
driven backhand, actually skips off of that berm. Gonna get over there, be a little over 400 feet to the pin from there, but reachable for double G.
Proctor with a very nicely thrown shot. Good height, kind of hitting the quad mando squarely and onto the flat. Nathan, the obvious frustration for Evan as he plays very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly, but still well executed on that. Nice turnover shot, just low enough to stay out of the tall grass. Again, Emerson taking his time, very deliberate, making sure he's comfortable in his run up, and this is gonna head straight towards that guardian tree that I was talking about and get knocked down for a pretty awkward 60 to 70 footer.
Yeah, it's runnable, but uphill and so far away that you have to kind of safe bid it. Garrett, plenty of power, should be able to throw pure hyzer, but I don't like this. This is sawed off left.
Sits down pretty nicely, gets far enough to catch the hill and minimize that skip. He's going to be just inside circle one.
Proctor with better initial width. And gonna climb and then fall back down the hill into bullseye again.
Yeah, better final result as well. Evan, again, seems like he's going a bit quickly. Just outside circle one. Gonna have an uphill, runnable birdie look.
Good bid, little bit.
And this time the uphill putt, not a problem for Evan Scott.
Yeah, tough thing to do, Carter birdie, and after a snowman. But able to do so. So nice bounce back there. Garrett Gurthie has got another turkey. Gonna move to 7 under par. Still inside that top 5.
Keith gonna card the par, and Proctor, this should be very easy birdie for him to get to 4 down on the round.
Gobble.
If disc golf is your game, make Gotta Go, Gotta Throw your Disc Golf warehouse with a huge selection of discs, bags, baskets, carts, and more. Everything you need for the game you love. Online or at our Minnesota store. GottaGoGottaThrow.com, your disc golf warehouse.
Hole 16, another par 3 in that 400-foot range, 402 this time. The central feature is that the basket's perched on the backside of an old mound from the ball golf course. And look at this headwind. Heard rumors of a storm that were going to potentially creep in, and it started with the wind.
Yeah, I haven't seen much wind today, but you can see a bit of strange stares as you all of a sudden you're kind of back on the other side of the course and out here with some headwind.
So Garrett choosing between a couple of things that I'm sure are absolutely unthrowable for most of our audience and probably both our commentators. Good skip, but running across the hill, just asking for a look.
Yeah, tough to stay on that hill once you get over to the left side. Momentum really seems to take those discs down to the bottom. James also not really getting this out as wide as you would like.
That's it.
Well, gets a nice checkup. I did not expect that to happen.
Yeah, I think if you have the power and can come in on a steep enough angle, you can dig into that hill. But wow, Evan just getting dragged to the left.
That's
after
what
a
I
pretty
thought
good shot.
was James was looking like, as he was going to get that push as well.
Emerson gonna push it much wider. Try to get a skip on the flat, but instead the pretty common roll back about 8 feet or so to 31.
And not a terrible spot to be. I think the wind is kind of on his side on that side of the hill. Evan Scott able to bounce back with 2 birdies after the unfortunate events back on hole 14. He's now back under par for the round.
Yeah, gotta have a short memory. And Garrett's putt just kind of not built for that headwind. Plays it slow enough to check at 15 feet or so.
Yeah, once you're dealing with a headwind or crosswind, the flatter you can get your putter, the more of a chance you're gonna have for it to move straight. As James Proctor now has 4 birdies in a row, puts himself 5 under par.
Couple easy cleanups and a couple birdies. Altogether, a relatively well-played hole for the conditions.
Moves us into hole 17, shortest hole on the course, 243. The wind that we just saw on 16 could make it a bit more interesting. You do have some OB right, long, and left once you get to the basket, and there is an OB line left all the way down the fairway now.
Proctor trusting the stability on a little bit of a turnover line. Well inside the circle again. Interesting to see Evan go with the forehand here after he's been almost all backhand the rest of the day.
Yeah, I agree. It is interesting to see him do that. I do think it's a pretty good play as far as the wind goes. It's kind of put a headwind right to left so you can put something stable over and let it just barely drift back. As Garrett got a lot on that one. Oh, and he is just going to barely trickle OB up there. No drop zone or anything, so he'll have an opportunity to putt for par from right there.
Yeah, still frustrating. It's almost like you could see his body recoil trying to throw the disc slow. And it goes 2 inches OB. Emerson matching Evan's line.
Yeah, going to be just outside bullseye. And I think that could be because Garrett really likes to disc down, or I did it again, speed down on his mid-ranges rather than throw putters. So just a little bit of extra speed on the disc right there could be why he ended up just barely skirting OB. Is able, however, to cart that par, so remains 7 under for the round. And James, 5 in a row after taking that bogey on 12, put himself 6 under and back inside the top 10.
Yeah, it's not quite fair to play the what-if game because everybody can do that, but a couple of bonehead mistakes on hole 8 and then the one on hole 12, and he could be thinking about a wildly different round. Hole 18, we're going to close with a gorgeous finishing hole. Another water carry, got to bite off 400 or more depending on how aggressive your angle is off the tee. And then either lay up short of a second water carry or play for the eagle by trying to carry OB left, right, long, and short of the green.
Yeah, eagle plays, you really need to drag this shot out like James has done, pull it out over the water for the majority of the flight. And he might be tired of waiting on that other card trying to give him a warning shot up there.
Evan, significantly safer. Highs are off to the left. He's probably going to have to lay up to the lay up short of the second carry. Try to play for a birdie instead of the eagle. Emerson low release again. We've seen this a couple times. And the barefoot spotter gives him the green.
Got a green flag. Certainly going to be in a position to lay up short for his next shot, but absolutely happy to get that green flag. Garrett Gurthie going big, trying to get up where James Proctor's at. And he's going to skip on past him and almost reach the bunker. Man, what a big shot.
Yeah, such trust to know that your disc is going to pull to the right, but have the stability to not just follow the water line. Good approach by Evan Scott. He'll have a similar shot of about 300, 320. And Emerson going to try to do the same thing, but stay out of the sand trap.
And just does stay out of that sand trap. It's not too bad in there, especially if you have a good standstill, but can cause some tricky footing if you're heavy-footed. Proctor probably in a 400 to 430 foot range here. Has hung this out pretty wide. Tons of distance on it. And he's going to be inside circle 2, putting back at the basket for an eagle.
Yeah, good safe way to play it. Not trying to just pin the basket and risk coming up short. Garrett fading off to that left side. Will stay safe, also in C2.
Yeah, probably a little bit scared with that one about that cart path over on the left. But when pushing it down a bit, Emerson now in the 360 range, maybe 380. Gonna be
a little shorter, but well over 300. Looks like he's going fairway driver, trying to play a dedicated hyzer. And well done to 18 feet or so. Chance to close out with a bird.
Yeah, very nice distance control there. Difficult to carry this bunker without getting too far past this green, especially going with fairway driver. As you see Evan just catching the top of that bunker and able to stay out. Gonna have a putt for his birdie. Garrett Gurthie for eagle.
Polite applause from the crowd. Glad those folks all came out and stayed around to see some excellent golf on an exciting finishing hole. Proctor for an eagle chance. And look at him go.
What a finish. 7 down in the last 6 holes. To shoot 8 down on the round, James Proctor. Have yourself a back 9.
And he's going to grab a top 5 finish, continuing his excellent work on the year.
Evan Scott to go 4 birdies to finish the round. And lots of good for this tournament for Evan Scott this weekend. Gonna be hard for him to see that immediately with that 8 and a missed putt on the last hole, but good showing for him nonetheless.
Yeah, just getting yourself onto coverage is an achievement at this point. Emerson Keith secures a top 20 finish with that birdie to close at 7 down.
Yeah, also seemed to have a bit of a fight of a round. Never really stringing a bunch of birdies together, it didn't seem like, but piecing them on in there. Garrett Gurthie able to tap in his birdie to tie James Proctor in that 5th position.
Well, there's a lot of coverage out there. We're delighted that you joined us on the Gatekeeper Media Chase Card. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, share with your friends so that there's more coverage coming to your subscriptions on YouTube. Ricky Wysocki, again, the champion at the Preserve. I'll be excited to come back next year, but still plenty of season left, Nathan.
Absolutely so. You take a look at our Disc Golf Pro Tour standings there. Calvin Heimberg gets the shout out every time as in first. I'm not sure he's going to relinquish that now. Cole Rodolin moving up pretty well with that 2nd place finish. Chris Dickerson rounding out that top 20. Thank you guys again for tuning in for the Preserve Championships here on Gatekeeper Media. For Andrew Fish, I'm Nathan Queen. We'll see you guys out there.